cortó el directo, la puta madre. Gente, se cortó el directo un toque. Bueno, espero que le haya dado tiempo para reconectar a esto. Que se desconectó el internet, ¿no? Puta madre.
It does, doesn't it?
Bien, recuperé mi dinero, Gil.
There's a shuffle of nylon as Lieutenant Kitsuragi looks for something in the pockets of his orange bomber.
I'm sorry, but he has to pay. I can't let him stay here any longer if he doesn't. If he doesn't have the money by tonight, then...
¿Qué pasa?
Officer, maybe you are better off working this from home for now. You live in Jamrock, right? It's not that far away.
Veré qué puedo hacer.
I'm sorry I couldn't help more. You should take this up with your station. I have a shortwave radio in my car, okay? We have to get this investigation started now.
Dale, va para ahí.
Good luck.
Mira.
By the way, where is home? The address is coming up blank, and this place sure isn't it. But you've been at this hostel cafeteria for only 3 nights. Where were you before? You had to be somewhere. In time or space?
Ambos.
That doesn't sound like somewhere you can stay if you run out of money. You can try. Run some addresses in your head when you get the time. Maybe a street or an apartment will appear.
Bien. Tenemos que salir.
The RCM in Martinez. What can I help you with? We don't see a lot of police around here, that's all. Of course. What can I help you with? Me? I am just a gardener.
She hides it well, but behind the sweat and dirt there is something else in her rigid posture.
I am pleased to meet you too, officer. Of course. Where to? There's the pier, the Cape Side apartment buildings, some more tenements. Not a lot, really. The harbor gates, some kind of commotion, I think. I don't follow the local politics. A fleet store too.
Fuente. O sea que tiene algo de relación con la tienda esa, ¿eh?
Some shops and a bridge. The canal bridge leads to the coast, but it's broken, I think. Some kind of accident, probably. Just coast. There's a little fishing village there, and a fish market. but that got closed down ages ago. It's just water. No, actually, I think they call it the Martinez Inlet. There are some islands in the bay, but they're hard to reach.
Pues súper raro este juego, boludo. No.
What do you mean? We're in Martinez, sir. This intersection is called Roundabout North, I think. No problem.
She's very well composed. Back straight.
Of course. Where to? No problem.
She's very well composed. Back straight.
Me?
She hides it well, but behind the sweat and dirt there is something else. In her rigid posture.
Is there?
The quickness of the reply certainly does not prove you wrong.
I'm working. I have a greenhouse in the yard there. I've been trying to get some work done. Well, as you probably know, there's a corpse hanging from a tree there. It smells pretty bad, so I have...
Don't worry, miss. We are here to clean it up. You can get to work soon.
Thank you. My head is about to explode from all the salts I've had to inhale.
Salts? Ammonium salts. Perhaps useful for later.
Of course. I won't hold you back.
If there's a corpse, then you're going to need those gloves for the autopsy.
Sure, keep them. I have another pair.
Bien, un éxito. Conseguí unos guantes. Este dice lo mismo que lo de adentro, ¿no? Sí. Otro chafe. Igual, vamos directo al cadáver, que era lo que quería el loco. Quería ir para ahí de una. Vamos a ver qué encontramos. Igual, déjame ver esto. Lo que esté alrededor de acá, sí.
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic. The tire tracks were
Bien,
left
super
by
esto.
an unknown event.
Hay un logro que es terminar el juego sin tocar el cadáver. O sea, sin ir para ahí.
Written in the
Cheto.
language of burnt rubber.
Yo lo que entiendo por ahora es que el juego se trata por lo menos de descubrir quién sos, toda la información que puedas descubrir de vos, del mundo, y bueno, resolver el crimen, ¿no?
Some of that rubber stuck to the tiles right in front of the whirling in rags. This is point A. The driver started there, and then accelerated straight into the fence, left a hole big enough for the Franco-Nigerian cavalry, according to the cafeteria manager.
Para mí, fui yo el que lo mató. Borracho, lo choqué. Luego lo colgó para que no se dieran cuenta de que fue él y se emborrachó hasta olvidarse de todo.
The driver proceeded to back out of the yard, barely stopping before hitting the adjacent building. Before heading south, must have been in a hurry.
I'm not sure. There are plenty of traffic accidents waiting to happen in Martinez. With the jam right here on the roundabout, I would keep them separate.
You could follow the track south. There seems to be a canal there. See where they went, if you find the time.
No voy a hacer el logro de terminar el juego sin tocar el cadáver porque... Acá está el cadáver, hay un niño, una vaina. Se aleja en el puto niño.
Kuno's got this.
Kuno. El Kuno. ...12 años. ¿Qué sería esto, perdón? Huele a carne podrida de lácteos fermentados. Un ser humano... No sé.
If there ever was such a thing as an ugly kid, then this is it. He's almost exquisite in his ugliness, like a gremlin.
Como un gremlin.
Oh yeah, never gumpy, Kuno.
Trátalo bien, dice. No, lo voy a hacer mierda.
Can't talk, pig. Shit's coming up strong. Throwing rocks.
Shit coming up strong. That sounds good. Joyous. You should hang out with this kid and see what that juicy shit is all about. I mean drugs. The kid's on drugs.
Va drogado, con 12 años.
Yeah, Kuno, ride the lightning, Kuno. Kuno's riding it, see?
Kuno S. No entiendo qué es Kuno S.
The rake, Kuno.
Este es otro pibe que está por ahí. No lo vi.
You should throw the rake at him, Kuno. The fuck does Kuno know what a rake is? Kuno's not a gardener.
Kuno S es la niña. Ah, ahí va. No la vi todavía. ¿Dónde está la niña? No la veo acá. En el plano por lo menos ahora no la veo.
The fuck are you talking about?
Bueno, falta uno para Flex. ¿Estás? No, no, querido Depre. Por ahora no. Muchas gracias. Suerte.
He's calling us Kuno. He says we're fucking each other.
Dice que somos...
Fuck no. Kuno doesn't buy that shit. Fucking entrapment shit.
Fast. This kid has got street smarts.
Alright. Entertain the Kuno. Show me what you got. What you got there? What you got, huh? Show me what you got.
The kid moves his hands like a basketball player dribbling fast.
Shitload pig. What's your question? Don't tell the pig shit, Kuno.
Déjalo jugar jueguito de verdad el pibe. Dice.
This is where you quickly ask him questions. Real cop questions. Like a cop.
Kuno's fucking. Kuno uses the fucking for target practice.
He's trying to hide the fact that he doesn't know.
Kuno knows all kinds of shit. Kuno's not a snitch, that's all. Trying to make the Kuno sing into the popo phone. Probably climbed. Kuno was busy down the road when that shit went down. You heard Kuno. Kuno wasn't even in Martinez. Kuno wasn't in Revachol. Kuno wasn't regional. I don't know. Some fucking Mesk or I don't know. Some other place. Night City. Kuno was in fucking Night City.
Night City. Ya estaba en el Cyberpunk.
There is no Night City anywhere. That sounds like the name of a city in some pulp science fiction novel.
Parece el típico nombre de novela de ciencia ficción barata.
Yeah. Kuno didn't smoke him if that's what you mean.
Thanks, Kuno. That's one name you can now cross off the list.
Just a couple of pigs sniffing around in the dirt. That seems pretty fucking suspicious to Kuno.
Yeah, you tell the faggot it, Kuno.
You're testing Kuno's patience here.
Get lost.
Right, pig. This is where Kuno plays with his little wooden choo-choo. What do you want with it? Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. Kuno's Kuno, pig?
It's always Kuno, never I. Clearly the kid's using the third-person perspective as a shield.
Yeah, Kuno's in a fucking gang. In a bang gang. Kuno bangs for Maggie, bangs for Mazda, bangs for Revachol.
Watch out, Kuno! He's trying to fiddle you! He's gonna put his hands on you!
No, acá está, mirá, ahí se ve.
Help! Pig's got Kuno! Help! Rape!
Opa.
Help! He's got the Kuno, help!
Fuck, la cagué.
Everyone can hear. You need to get the hell out of here before.
Yeah? Get out of here before the Kuno beats the shit out of you.
Yeah, that's right. Drag your fat ass out of here, fat boy, before Kuno fucks you.
Moral dañada.
Despair creeps into you, getting fat on your weakness. Whatever noble intentions you once had as a police officer, it's eating them all up now. You're still coming up with sentences. That's a step up from total annihilation, right?
Yes, it can be difficult to be on the receiving end of so much distrust and outright hatred.
Nothing you can say would make you feel any better now. Cop gives up the detective genre for social realism. Another police officer resigned from the RCM following a nervous breakdown. He now lives under a bridge, drinking and occasionally throwing excrement at passers-by, shouting, "I never loved that woman." When asked to comment, former colleagues objected to the theory that his psychological disintegration was precipitated
Rip
by his
terminó.
wife leaving
Tipo,
him.
ya terminé mi primera
It's
partida.
because the Furrows lost that match, said Captain Ptolemy Price, once the man's superior officer. It's because he
Se mató
couldn't
un
get a
nene
big
con
gun
pura
from
labia.
positions. And anyway, police work really burns you out after a while. Satellite officer Jean-Vic Mayer, the deranged former cop's partner, commented. Sergeant Matt Torson, another former colleague, did not propose any theories, merely saying whatever happened to him wasn't about birds. He got fucked, that's all.
Te chamulló fácil, Facu. Te mandó la del tren. ¿Qué? Bueno, ¿qué? Bien, bien, estoy entendiendo de a poco cómo le queda el juego, No, y solo guardé una vez. Claro, esto no tiene... No tiene guardado automático. ¿Tengo los dos zapatos? Sí. Abajo. La moral es igual de importante que la salud. Te quedas sin moral, te pegas un cuetazo. Ah, y hay algo que no vi antes, Vamos rápido. Acá inspecciono esto. Inspecciono esto. Inspecciono esto. ¿Y no me dio la misión del karaoke? ¿Por qué antes sí me la dio? Apreté F5 más seguido.
You should totally sing karaoke here, the first chance you get.
Ahora sí.
Your emotions need to be expressed. People need to know your vast ocean utterly through a PA by other people. Who is mistakenly identified as a cop for his prominent jawline? Yes, sounds like you should sing the sad small church song from that tape you found. Serves them right. Wipe that smirk off. You would need another copy of the tape first, though.
Dale, boludo, tanto texto va a tener. Perdí una vez ya, boludo. Es la segunda vez que lo estoy jugando. Perdí una partida ya. Mira, acá hay una chafe, acá, ¿qué hay? Esto no lo vi, Es una botella de Roma. Wild Pines.
A colorful piece of plastic is dangling from his carabiner. Makes your fingers itch. On the counter, rolled out of his open hand, you see a blister pack of headache medicine.
¿Qué sería esto? Forma física desafiante. Despertarlo. Ah. Claro, si lo despierto se va a cabrear, me va a querer cagar a palo y como yo no tengo mucho físico, me va a matar.
It's a dock worker's ID, doubling as a shift card and a job permit. A young, able-bodied man stares back at you from the photo. Santiago S. John.
No, mira lo que te dicen, Gil. Todo fue un plan para que aprenda a leer y dejar de jugar en gallego,
Your fingers find their way into the shackle, flicking open its spring-loaded gate. The metal loop holds the plastic ID and a leather-bound pocketbook. The man emits a loud snore. Is he about to wake up? Doesn't look like it, but you never know. Better be quick. You slip the plastic ID card out of the loop and pocket it. The man continues to snore. Just for the record, you look nothing like the man on the document. You find a black paper note with a woman's profile on it. Seems like this woman lived centuries ago. The note says 5 real. It feels nice and greasy. The sleeping dock worker has little to say about your actions. he remains silent. The man does not mind. You probably need them more than he does.
You've just picked up some magnesium. This item is stored in the bottom left corner of the screen above your character portrait. Use magnesium to heal your morale if you have morale damage.
Ok. Con esta cuenta no puedo opinar. Bueno, necesito conseguir un nombre fake, boludo. Por acá en la vuelta no hay. Vamos a darle el F5, ¿verdad? Acá hay un pensamiento. ¿Puede ser?
The theme on that pinball machine is a standard royalist theme, clinging to a picture book version of the past century, waiting for the king to come back and cast out all the profiteers and homosexuals. Basically, imagine a yellow plastic crown with a liquor brand emblazoned on it. The sentiment is called anti-centennial nostalgia.
¿Qué hay acá?
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been up already? Sweet Lord, a whole hour. And you haven't thought about rum and lemonade in all that time? You've truly extinguished all trace of yourself.
¿Qué dice Farco?
Forget about the bar. Or don't forget about it. You should totally try to get a drink there too. But first, you should lick that stain. You press your tongue against the counter. The stain is crusted at first, but after a couple of licks, it starts to melt like a snowflake. If snowflakes were made of spiced black rum, maybe it's your imagination, but there's already some. You could definitely go for some more. The titillating scent of alcohol in your nostrils was beautiful.
Mira la tartarea. Y deja que que fluya la magia. A ver, porque claro, yo no hice esta de... de ir con esto así, explorando un toque. Vamos para arriba.
The door is closed. This door can only be opened with a key or from the inside.
No entiendo qué es la puerta en blanco todavía. La pinta que tiene acá la chafia es increíble, ¿verdad? Ah, acá hay otro pensamiento este. ¿Podré salir del bar sin hablar con la gente?
As you approach the door leading out of the hostel, the bespectacled man in an orange bomber jacket.
Excuse me. I think you may be the person I've been waiting for.
On the sleeve of his bomber jacket, as well as on its back, are the same enigmatic white written.
Hello.
You realize he's waiting for your name. Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau.
Si le digo este nombre me van a cagar a putear.
No, it's not. Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau is one classy name for one classy cop. Say,
Yes, well,
Ni siquiera procesa lo que acabas de decir.
not for a moment does he believe that's your real name. He casts it aside as an intra-departmental joke or a peculiarity he doesn't understand.
Está bien.
it looks like we had a little scheduling error on Sunday. Saturday.
What he means is, he has been trying to meet up with you for 2 days, but you have been otherwise occupied.
Then we should ask him for a run. It also wouldn't hurt to assure him the police are finally here. In full force, I mean. Have you mapped out the initial interviews? Okay, we'll have time for that after we take a look at the current. Have you removed the dead body from the tree? So, the body is still where it has been hanging for 7 days straight. We should go there as soon as we are done talking to the owner. After you, officer.
If you're about to embark on an investigation, shouldn't you have a badge?
You mean you don't have a badge? Oh, if you didn't have your badge, then that would be very bad. You would need to report it on my shortwave. But since you do have it, we can go straight to the task at hand.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi is now in your party.
Vámonos.
A man in his late...
Mr. Gart, right?
Yes.
I am Kim Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. This is an inter-district investigation, so joining me from Precinct 41? Right. Now, I know it took us a while to arrive at the scene. It also took you a while to call her.
No, I only...
Do you have her number?
As a matter of fact, I do.
This sounds like something you can...
You said you just got...
What? Of Martin?
But you still know your...
Yes, I know.
I didn't imply that. Detective,
He probably means this is where you step in and ask your questions. His face expresses profound doubt in your... Ask him about the body's location before asking if he killed him. People give up information in the more
Behind this building, there's a courtyard. They hoisted him up on a tree there. That's easy.
This man means the heavy cavalry of the innocents, Franco.
I don't know who...
This is it.
Oh, people are saying... The locals.
did the debarders then...
I don't really know. You'll have to ask. I would suppose...
You mean the strike?
Yes, the strike. The man they hanged was a security guard for the harbour company, I hear.
The lieutenant turns the page in the little note.
She went away.
Have they not been telling you you're a cop?
Okay,
Thank you.
I asked an employee out. She didn't want to come, but felt obliged to. It was a bad idea. Now, what is so goddamn fascinating about that for you? It's got nothing to do. Good for you. Was there something else? No, I'm not the bartender. I'm the cafeteria manager. I could if I were a bartender, but I'm not. I'm the... I hope it is.
Let's go.
Not so fast. You owe me 130 real. Oh, you don't owe me shit.
We do not need to assert ourselves here. We only need instructions from him. This is the proprietor, remember?
You know, I get this all the time. Some hobo comes in here or some backpacking... Let's see. Another thing you've annihilated is half the bar. You've run a tab of 30... What are you, brain damaged? Money is what grown-up people use to pay for things. Things like this hostel room or...
There's a shuffle of nylon as Lieutenant Kitsuragi looks for something in the pockets of his orange...
I'm sorry, but he has to pay. I can't let him stay...
Officer, maybe you are better off working this from home for now. You live in Jamrock, right? It's not that far away. I'm sorry I couldn't help.
Good luck.
By the way, where is home? The address is coming up blank. And this place sure isn't it. But you've been at this hostel cafeteria for only 3 nights. Where were you before? You had to be somewhere. You don't really know, do you? A vague, blackened image doesn't sound like somewhere you can stay if you run out of money. You can try. Run some addresses in your head when you get the time. Maybe a street or an apartment will appear.
Hello, sweetie.
Wait, who's Sweetie?
Why, you are, officer. And have you found anyone to be sweet to? You rascal. I'm too old for you, and too married besides. You must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I completely forgot to introduce myself. I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
Whatever do you mean? Sequence killers? Oh my. But I think you already have.
A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree.
It seems to me that you lucked out with your partner. He has the look of an upstanding officer of the law. Someone you can lean on, and sweetie, you are looking unsteady. Oh, sweetie, I heard your conversation with the manager about your financial troubles. When do you get your next paycheck?
Tocar la fibra sensible.
You must be joking. Although our pay does sometimes feel like a joke.
It's not easy to assert your right to a decent living wage when you don't have a strong union behind you. Maybe you should talk to Everard.
Interesting idea. This Everard sounds powerful. Maybe you can wrangle some coins out of his pocket.
Oh no, I'm so sorry I don't have money for you. If there's anything else I can... Yes, dear. I'm a paraplegic.
A paraplegic is someone with limited or no ability to use the lower half of their body. Paraplegia is caused by spinal cord injuries, like falling from a great height, or a grenade explosion.
That's quite all right. I'm used to people asking questions. I know they're thinking about it anyway. Yes, officer. You look rather dazed. Like a stunned fox. But surely things can't be that bad. Oh my. You know where we are, right? That's right. And where is the Whirling in Rags cafeteria itself located? Yes, indeed. We are in the fine city of Revachol. Yes, great. See? We're getting somewhere. What else do you know about our city of splendor? Tattered as she... How would I even begin to tell you? Revachol is the most beautiful city in the world. I haven't seen very many other cities personally, but everyone says so. Revachol is a rare jewel. This city used to rule the world, though it has seen better days. Speaking of history, you know what year it is, yes? That's right, dear. How splendid. Here, take this pen. Knowledge should always be rewarded.
Her relief is palpable. She was getting pretty worried about you then, but now she relaxes her shoulders.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government? Nope, sadly not. Revachol is what's called a zone of control, under an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition. We have no government of our own, and what
Meaning, buying is voting.
Oh dear. And you were doing so well. There aren't any cops in Revachol, not in the traditional sense. The status of law enforcement has been complicated, but we should stop for today, sweetie. You look like you need a break. Besides, I'm not the best person to explain the big thing.
She's scared now. She's realized you really are brain damaged.
Golpeando la puerta, puede ser. No.
You were doing quite well up until the end there. It does look like you're having trouble remembering things. History and places.
A sigh. The lieutenant buries his nose in his notebook.
But maybe a fresh set of eyes is what the world needs. And while I'm no doctor, such bouts of amnesia are often temporary, so I wouldn't worry too much. A defeat, I'm afraid. The people of this archipelago tried to build something new, something different. The rest of the world didn't like it, so they came and ended it. This was 42 years ago. It has something to do with everything. I really don't know how to someone more educated in sweeping matters. Maybe you should ask.
No, I'm not an encyclopedia. I won't be a guide either. I'm a detective.
Of course. Then I don't know. Someone rich, maybe? Wealthy people are educated. Though I don't know where you would find a wealthy person in Martinez.
That's a good point. This doesn't look like Rich Central.
Of course, dear. Good luck with you.
¿Qué mierda es esto? Diario. ¿Qué sea? ¿Qué? ¿Qué es esto? ¿Qué mierda? Bueno. Fecha. que no entiendo nada.
The RCM in Martinez. We don't see a lot of police around here, that's all. Of course. What can I help you with? Of course. Where to? Oh, that.
Even all the way over here, there's a drop of death in the spring air.
What do you mean? Yes,
He knows where we are. He just wants directions.
there's the pier, the Cape Side apartment buildings, the harbor gates, some kind of commotion, some shops and a bridge, just coast. It's just water. No, actually, no problem.
She's very well.
Me?
She hides it well.
Is there?
The quickness of the reply certainly does not prove you wrong.
I'm working. I have a greenhouse in. Well,
Don't worry, me.
Salts? Ammonium salts? Perhaps useful for later.
me?
She hides it well.
I am pleased to meet you too, officer. Of course. Where to? No problem.
She's very well.
Of course.
If there's a corpse, then
Sure.
Yes? What do you want to know? Maybe you can tell me what you do know to help me narrow it down a bit. Then you are not that far behind, actually. Do you want me to brief you? 3 days ago, the RCM emergencies desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged in Martinez. An anonymous caller said there was a dead body behind the Whirling in Rags hostel cafeteria. The cadaver had been there for 4 days. No one had come to investigate. During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him, but used the word lynching. There is an ongoing labor dispute between the local dock workers and the logistics company Wild Pines. I was told we should approach the death as part of this dispute. A security guard or worker of some sort, hired by Wild Pines. This was just hearsay from Martinez, of course. We need to find out the truth. They didn't identify themselves in any way. The tone was muffled using a device of some sort. The desk could identify neither the caller's age nor sex. There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The dock workers' union is the de facto police in Martinez. Now it appears they've started executing too. We cannot allow that. That's us, the Revachol Citizens Militia. We're the police in this city.
the RCM, or the Revachol Citizen Militia, is the police force you and him are part of. A self-organized peace corps of the occupied city of Revachol. The RCM operates within a legal twilight, yet its authority is rarely questioned. It's super useful to know this.
Just to be clear, We are police officers. It's our job to find the killer. That's the case. Uncover and arrest the killer. You mean like a brief? There's no... 3 days ago, the RCM emergencies desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged in Martinez. An anonymous caller said there was a dead body behind the Whirling in Rags hostel cafeteria. During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not. Okay then. Was there anything else you wanted to know? No. It's not a particularly mysterious case. The deceased is a security guard for a corporation involved in a labor dispute. It doesn't take a DeLorean polymath to put the pieces together. I just don't see the case getting more mysterious than that. I can assure nothing like that will happen. Do you know why not? Because it's not part of reality.
The gesture resembles an orchestra conductor bringing the choir to a full, so desperately mundane. You need to funk this case up. There's something the lieutenant isn't seeing. The universe is too irrational, too morally complex. You should convince him.
I'm afraid you and I are pawns in a pissing competition. You don't know? I assumed you were in on it. Better still than an imbecile cop-off. It's just stupidity. We shouldn't waste any more time on it. If you want my take, ask me after we've inspected the victim. Later. Was there anything else you wanted to know about the case? Good.
No response. He just arches his brow. He's having trouble processing it, believing it even.
Have you tried concentrating on something other than your personal affairs? Fine. We should get through this day first. Off hours begin at 9 p.m. If you're still having trouble then, I can give you an orientation. Try work, the case at hand. It can work miracles. Not a fan. It's just the nature of lieutenancy.
The RCM deploys a self-styled structure called the Decomptage as its chain of command. Every lieutenant is responsible for 2 sergeants and 8 officers. That means the average lieutenant has to deal with quite a few personal affairs. Even you know this.
Really? You look fine to me. This psychodrama is unbecoming of an officer.
Clearly, he prefers to think you're malingering. He cannot fathom that anyone could drink so much as to retroactively erase their entire life.
Then you should consider seeking medical attention. You can use the radio in my kinema to call your station's Lazareth. Was there anything else you wanted? Me? I don't see how my life is pertinent to the investigation. That's a fair point. All right, for the good of the investigation, what do you want to know? That's correct.
You feel a slight urge to put the lieutenant down for this, but you can't quite muster enough testosterone.
I guess you don't need glasses then. That's because I'm half Seolite, or quarter. My father's father was from Seoul, so was my grandmother, but from my mother's side. It's not an interesting topic. It's a part of the world, officer. A geopolitical entity and a geographic division. I told you it wouldn't be interesting.
Seoul is a protectionist, isolationist, pan-Isolari state west of the Insulindian Isola. Actually, it's quite interesting. Some would even say mysterious.
You're barking up the wrong tree. I don't speak a word of Seolite. I've never met either one of my grandparents, and I've never been to Seoul. I'm a regular Reverchelier.
A point of pride to him.
No.
Your brain sends the signal to your lips, but they refuse the order. Something is paralyzing them. You're pretty sure it has something to do with the... It's like you're locked down.
Something the matter, detective?
What's going on? It's like you're a puppet in his hands. The lieutenant relaxes his eyebrow, and you seem to regain control of yourself.
What do you mean? I have no idea what you're talking about.
The lieutenant's conceptualization skills must be rather rudimentary.
I can't say that it does, no. When I need to think, I just use my notebook.
The lieutenant produces his small blue notebook and idly thumbs. We all have our different mediums. His is written.
Good. Let's change the subject. Excuse me? Detective, if I may be frank, you seem to be in a deranged state. You have trouble remembering things. I cannot let you some
Ay,
time.
no sé qué opción toqué, fue
This
sin
is a
querer.
police investigation, not a journey of self-discovery. You'll still have your evenings to yourself. Please do. We wouldn't want your regiment to spill over into the investigation.
The lieutenant is pretty sure self-care is just a euphemism for nihilistic binge drinking.
Va a ser mucho texto definitivo, boludo.
Scab?
You're hazy on the notion of a scab. Smells like politics, though. Maybe it's got something to do with the flask he reaches for from time to time.
Good one, officer. Don't worry. We here have solidarity with the RCM. Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, let us cop for less money.
Psst. Show him your stolen card. Now has arrived the perfect...
Speaking of, what brings the RCM here, to the Wild North? Come to see the strife?
The man looks at the colorful piece of plastic, then at you, then back.
Ah, es verdad que yo no encajaba con la foto de la cosa.
Um, but that's not you, officer. From back when you were not a cop, but a heavy-set, dark-skinned dock worker named Santiago Jean? Highly unlikely. I've known John for several years now. Also, you told me you're a cop, remember?
Now you're in a mess. The time hath not arrived. Sorry.
Oh, John's been out drinking himself blind again? He should watch his step, that John. Can I have the card?
No, it will prove useful still. Believe your thieving fingers.
¿Se sigue? Seguimos, papu. ¿Y cómo te fue en esa flex? Eso, papá. ¿Con quién jugaste? Con unos pibes de antes. La vieja escuela. Con el arveja y eso, otros. Ahí va, ni idea. Ni idea, guacho. Bueno, a ver.
Oh, is my friend in some sort of trouble? Who knew? Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder. Probably not. I wouldn't even know where to start with that. Much better here at the harbor, for an honest union man like me.
Santi me suena, pero no. Y Hoja no. Hoga.
My friend, I respect the right to roam. The open range awaits. I don't operate in that capacity. I'm not a granter of passage. The passage grants itself.
If it's all so simple, why don't the strikebreakers just go up the stairs?
Aye. Walk right past Measurehead and go in. Yeah, the 2.5-meter tall Semini supremacist there. Walk right past him. Then press the button to unlock the door. Then go past him again. And you enter the arbor through the office. Está.
The man whispers a jaunty tune. A coastal breeze ruffles his hair.
Sure thing, my friend. I can help you out.
The coin narrowly slips by your outstretched fingers and falls to the ground.
Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to throw it like that. It's a thing we harbor folk do, passing around cargo and such. Was not meant as provocation or ridicule.
The boyadero stares at you with respect, then gestures towards the trickles of blood adorning your clothes.
Right, always glad to help out the RCM. We're on the same branch, you and I. Humans, I mean, not slithering scabs. You know, serious business. I'm sure the big boss will be glad to tell you. You'll have to ask him first.
He's a chatty guy. Wants to talk about the strike too. Just can't break the command structure and tell you now.
Ah, pues subí hasta acá arriba. Puedo subir para allá.
Nobody betrays your degeneracy.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
That is precisely the negligence that has led you to succumb to Al Ghul. You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see it, but others can. It is making the woman in my company sick. Yes,
He means alcohol.
correct, my small skull servant. Al Ghul is an ancient Ilmaran poison, a parasitic fungus that has colonized your race. It is a trick the desert pygmies played on you for humiliating them and stripping them of their land.
Intentionally fermented drinks have existed for 10,000 years.
This is a fabrication the alchemists of Yizot and Bashir and their Rolam and Hul have fed your people. Go on believing in it, race loser. Why don't you have another drink? Your features are not yet congenitally deformed enough.
Oh yeah, Measurehead.
It's not good.
It's like a rat crawled into your stomach, got drunk and drowned.
No, you don't. You need to get another drink. Occidental Haplogroup B4 is done giving orders around here. The influence of the ham sandwich race is waning. Begging for help. Attempting to pass fear for cooperation. How far the Occidental Haplogroup has fallen. You were once a noble. You gave the world eugenics, electricity, and powerful weapons of war like missiles and aerostatic air. You dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Hemians and the inexplicably potato-obsessed Quakers. But now your ascent, you will be superseded. Isn't that right?
It is, baby, yeah.
There is a button right behind him, just out of reach. It must be the one that opens the door to the harbor.
That is right. You should leave the stage of history with dignity by inviting the other races. Bring your troops to the Seminine Islands and to Boogie Street, and we will pulverize you. When you are gone, the walls will be lined with bottles of Al Ghul, your beloved beverage. Inside, we will store the oaths to homosexuality.
There may be a peaceful solution to this. You could internalize Meshahed's race theory. He would take you as one of his own. Well, not as such. What you do with the mastery of advanced race theory is up to you. You could reject the findings, sure, or accept them and become an advanced racist. Ask what kind of races there are first. Classification is core to this stuff.
Do you?
The lieutenant looks toward the harbor's electronic door, and then to you.
You are obviously a liberal, Sailite. A polyculturalist. I can see it from your love of microtechnology and your sartorial choices. There are 3 categories of race. Type A, the heroic races. Type B, the servile races. And the vile CF race cauldron of pederasty. Which one? Those are the Simonese, the Areopagite, and the Occidentals, excluding the Maun, of course. The Maun are riddled with eczema to the point where they find it impossible to smile. They are all lactose intolerant. A common result of a receding genetic pool has led the Maun on reprehensible street parades. In Maun cities like Stadskanal and Vredefort, wearing wooden clogs on their feet and little green tassels on their hats. You know them by the names of their nation states. The Oranese, the Gotwaldians, and the Königsteiners.
Lahun is a derogative term for first world people of Gotwaldian descent. They do not all have eczema. Also, people of Katlan, like the Suru and the Uru, are much more lactose intolerant. In some municipalities of Oranje, people do wear shoes made of wood to street parades. Green, orange, and even yellow tassels have also been seen.
The Maun are proof that you can have too much Occidental racial purity and tassel-centric culture. Inbreeding has led to a lactose-intolerant subrace whom no one can take seriously.
Colorful tassels are, let's be honest, not a good sartorial choice for this century. You might want to avoid wooden clogs too.
The Vespertines and Messenians of Vesper and Messina, the ancient Meteorans of Meteo by the golden Pisantic Sea, the Suren of Sur-la-Clé, and even the North Königsteiners, all have the other large Mondial civilization, the Mesk, are too yellow and oleaginous to count as a heroic race. True, they are violent and expansionist, but they have a glandular overproduction of sebum Sebum is leaking into their brains, making them listen to El Mariachi music and eat toxic minced meat-based food, which in turn only produces more, as proven by the Maun and the Mesk. Occidental type A is in retrograde. The Simonese and the Areopagite are on the ascent.
Pa, boludo, ¿qué es esto? No estoy
The indigenous people of this, the Insulindian archipelago. The Simonese inhabit the southern islands. I am Simonese, from the stock of Ulebruir on Ile de Fantôme. The Areopagites are the master race of the Ile Maran deserts. The Simonese are descendants of the Areopagites. We came here during a heroic migration from Ile Maran to Ansuland. Thousands of years.
Wait, didn't Il Maran desert pygmies invent alcohol and get pillaged just a short while ago?
No, those were scimitar-wielding race losers of Zahrafa, Izzet, and Bashir, with their Himmi servants. Big difference. The Areopagites were fasting and conquering while this happened. You will never...
Jean, baby, you're on fire.
I know, bae. The Areopagites are sleek, long-headed. The Simonese are powerful, mesomorphic. The former is an immutable progenitor, unchanged since the Super Isola of Periféricos. Ancient brains rest in their slender skulls. The latter is perfected and adapting. Together they form the Simeno-Areopagite, or Simeopagite super race. That is all. Type B are the unheroic races, amorphous non-competitors of the great race. The Koikos and the Vacholier, they are mud-colored people.
The Koikos of Grad, Yugo, Zhimsk, Shest et al. Are what you would call white, officer, in a suspect description.
Yes, to an untrained eye, the Koiko appear white and pinkish, like a hand's sandwich. But look into their eyes and you will see. They are of an indistinct color, and so is their skin. Unhealthy, muddy, and ashen. Pinkness is a racial quality that has to be earned through centuries of advanced ballistic warfare and cultural domination that the Grad people have undergone for drinking alcohol and smoking.
Boludo, ¿quién escribió esto?
The Koiko, the countless micronationalities of Grad, are all inexplicably obsessed with Podat. The only thing they like more is dividing into microscope.
Wouldn't he be one for ethnostates?
They are microscopic. The Semeno-Areopagite superstate will cover the entire remaining planetary crust, uninterrupted. From Holy Semenine to the Boreal, its leaders will be the genetic epitome of the Simonese and Areopagite stock, elected by nature, not the base inert spoilage called demos. The Vacholians, halfway between Type A and the racial called Ron. Two mixed to know right from wrong. You tried your degenerate little revolution, which was the single greatest failure committed by humans in our 82,000-year history on this planet.
Is it 82,000 years that we've been recording history? You have very little idea of what is happening, but that seems a little off.
The mysteries of the people of this planet are a tragedy that has played out countless times over, like a fever dream of skin, hair, and bone. Wake up, naive Chespias. The revolution came to Ravachol from Grad, in Zarath written potato carts. It is literally an illness. A prion disease that leaves the parita. The revolution is fatal familial insomnia. A hereditary prion condition passed from the Koiko to the Occidentals. But not sexually. Enough of Tibet mediocrity. Tips CF are a museum of failed chimeric experiments and tragic maladaptations. They are tortured creatures waiting to be put to sleep. Your morbid interest in them were lesser races like the mosquito, a grotesque mixture of a masked woman and a Seminese man. Only possible if the mother is masked and the father Seminese. The other way around, they fail. The mosquito is born sterile, like a donkey. All they have left is to ride customized motor carriages with hydraulic suspension, listening to aggressive El Mariachi music to vent their
It seems unlikely that two human beings produce genetically sterile offspring.
You are right. You have misunderstood. You lack basic phylogenetic. Then there is the Semino-Koiki Chimera. Are you sure you wish to know of the Semino-Koiki Chimera? It is not an aesthetic site. The Koiko, as you know, are very servile, especially when they meet the rich man. Racial scientists have toyed with the idea of crossing the Seminese with the Koiko to produce a super worker of Semin. This will never happen. The Seminese and the Koiko may have similar interbreeding problems as the mosquito. We will never know precisely. No Seminese man could maintain, but enough. It is cruel to entertain ourselves with the deformities of Type CF. Were there any able-bodied races you needed education on? You understand nothing. To solve the great race enigma, you have to first ask yourself, what is the race enigma? You have not even worded the mystery, let alone solved it. You need to internalize what you have heard here today, then return to me. This clarity does not come instantly. I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss, Behringer. Your love for disco music and venereal disease? Don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. The race enigma runs much deeper than that. Mr. Clare is a man of vision and means. He has the will to confront polycultural capital, something your race naivistic. Also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. It is lax and moronic. Of course you are. Revacholian man. The failure of communism to challenge the world order is the core of your race's fate. All around you, the fruits of its defeat. Above all, rampant multinational finance still reigning large. Tell me, where have you gotten your love of pathetic communism from? Degenerate youth culture? Rock and roll music? Stop explaining yourself. No one cares about your beliefs. The conversation has moved on. Tell me, what degenerate subculture has made you dress in this shameful way? Of course it does. You are a degenerate individualist and a rock and roll rebel. A pawn of international finance. I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of the inevitable cultural victory of the Seminoles race.
Me dio sida ya, dice el Bahía. No lo soporta.
The South Island race, haplogroup A4A. We are the rightful masters of the Insulindian archipelago. We descend from the Areopagites of we are the future. That is all you. I am a descendant. The narrow streets of Ulimbuir are with me in my genetic dreams. I see young Seminoles women walk into the grey mass on Ile de Fantôme. Wait, no. I have heard about it on the radio. I'm from Couronne. And no, it is not just in Revachol. The city is central to the Simonese strategy. Spreading through its trade networks, our culture will dominate the world. You have heard enough about our phylogenetic secrets for today. You have extinction to come to terms with, and never getting into the harbor.
I don't think anything about this. We are wasting our time having this conversation.
Your pedomorphic friend is right. You should leave here with your tail between your legs, contemplating race extinction. Racists are generally not very good examples of their race.
Welcome to Revachol. You hear him yell at a redhead woman visiting. He must think redheads are immigrants.
I am not like them. I am craniometric perfection. I have taken the trouble to permanently draw a phrenologic grid on my skull and features. This should dispel any doubt.
The drawings are precise and look true to their pseudo-scientific ambitions. One thing, however, it is not entirely free of throwbacks in the phylogenetic tree. His large jaw, for example, could be a trait indicative of criminalism. Also, his earlobes could be smaller.
That atavistic stigmata makes pussy say yes, plenty.
Babe, thanks. But I got this. There is nothing funky. I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss, T-Bet.
Qué hijo de puta, bro. Me hizo hablar 8 horas con él y no llegué a nada. Es una locura este juego, no estoy entendiendo una mierda, boludo, de la puta madre. Igual, queridos, ya se me hizo tarde, son las 11:30 ya. Voy a dejar esto por acá. Espero que hayan pasado moderadamente bien con todos esta cantidad insana de diálogos que tiene este juego. Pero bueno, de eso va, así que... Opa, igual conseguí platita, ¿no? Ah, no, tengo 6,72. Queridos, me retiro. Nos vemos en la próxima. Cuídense. Bye.